Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Yogesh Patil from the Department of IT and CS. Friends, today we are going to discuss the topic for SYIT and SYCS for semester 3rd as well as semester 4th. The subject is computer networks and today's topic is switching techniques. So, what is mean by switching? Switching is nothing but a process which forwards the packets from which are coming from one device or one port, and it was leading towards the destination. So when data comes from a packet or a port, it is known as an ingress, and when data leaves the port or it goes out of the port, it is known as it is called as an egress. A communication system, it may include a number of ports or switches or nodes. So these switches, nodes, routers are known as a port in this switching techniques. So at a broad level, switching can be divided into two basic parts. That is nothing but a connectionless or connection oriented. Now what is mean by connectionless switching technique? So whenever the data is forwarded, it always forwarded with the forwarding table. It contains the data of the forwarding table. But instead of that, the data has been in a connectionless switching technique. The data has been forwarded on the behalf of forwarding table. So we never required any previous handshaking data or acknowledgement. They are optional in this technique. And in connection oriented, before switching the data, it has to be forwarded to the destination, or there is a need for pre-establishment of circuit along with the path between both endpoints. So source to destination, we require a proper connection or links in between switch and routers in between them. So the data is then forwarded on the circuit, and then after the successful transmission or transfer is completed, the circuit can be kept for the future use or can be turned down immediately. So there are, depending upon these kind of techniques, the data or a switching has different types. The very first type of switching, that is circuit switching. Now what is mean by circuit switching? When a node or one or two nodes communicate with each other over the dedicated communication path, it is known as it is called as an circuit switching. So whatever the path we have, it is a dedicated path in between these two networks. There is a need of pre-specified route from data will travels and no other data will permit it. So this is a dedicated path in between these two devices. Then in circuit switching, to transfer the data, circuit must be established so the data transfer can take place. So before starting data transfer in circuit switching technique, what we need to establish the network first. In that case, the packets which has been transferred from source to destination, they knows from which path they have to carry. So the circuit switching can be a permanent or a temporary, and the application which uses the circuit switching, they may have go through three basic phases. The very first, that is establish a circuit. So we have to establish the circuit. The second, transfer the data, means after successful establishment of the circuit or a network, we have to start the transformation of the data. Then disconnect the circuit. It means that after successful data transmission, we can keep the data, or we can keep the network or the circuit for a future use, or we can discard it. As you can see in the diagram, we have established a network by using this kind of switches. This network is dedicated and no other data communication devices or node are using this path. So this path is dedicated to the source as well as destination. So circuit switch was designed for voice application. Basically telephone line is the best suitable example for switching, circuit switching. As you know that once we are communicating, in that case the other can't connect to the previous caller. So before a user can make a call, a virtual path between the caller and called person is established, a network. Then we have message switching. Now what is mean by message switching? This technique is somewhere in middle of circuit switching and the packet switching. In message switching, what happens? The whole message is treated as a data or a data unit, and it has been switched or transferred in its entirety. So a switch working on the message switching first receives the whole message and buffer it until there are the resources available to transfer it to the next hop. So it stores and forward the data hop to hop or node to node. So as you can see in a diagram, the message which has been transferred from sender to receiver, at every intermediate switching device, the message has been, or a full message has been stored first at one switch, and then it has been transferred to the next hop or a next switch as till it reaches to the destination. So if the next hop is not having resource to accommodate a large message size, the message has been stored and switch is waiting for its turn. So this technique was considered subtitle to the circuit switching, as in a circuit switching a whole path is blocked for the two entities only, and message switching is replaced by the packet switching, as message switching has the following drawbacks. The very first drawback, that every switch in a transit path needs enough storage to accommodate an entire message, because a complete message we are storing in one switch. Then because of stored and forward technique, and wait includes until the resources are available, message switching is very slow. So it waits till the next hop being free for data transfer. And message switching was not a solution for streaming media and real-time application. So these are few drawbacks of message switching. That's why we introduced the next switching technique, that is nothing but a packet switching. So what is mean by packet switching? Short term of message switching give birth to an idea of packet switching. So the entire message is broken down into a smaller packets or a smaller chunks of the packets, and this switching information is added to the header of each packet and transmitted independently. So and in spite of or instead of sending a complete message, the data has been splitted into the small packets, and over the network we are transmitting the small packets. So it is very easier for intermediate networking devices to store a small size of packet, and then they do not take much resources either on carrier path or in the terminal memory of the switches. So as you can see, we can transfer or we can utilize an entire network or entire switches in the network for the data transmission. So it comparatively, or comparing to circuit switching or message switching, it is fast. So the packet switching enhances line efficiency, as packet from multiple application can be multiplexed over the carrier. The internet uses packet switching techniques. That's why you can see the internet having a more data speed. Then the packet switching enables the user to differentiate data stream which is based on the priorities, and the packets are stored and forwarded according to their priority to provide quality of the services. Here is little animation to explain the packet switching. As you can see in this diagram, the data packets has been transferred from the different routes and they are reaching towards their destination. They are using the different path. As you can see, the packet red, blue, green has been transferred from the different path. The node A, B, C, D, all nodes has been used over this network. So this is all about the switching techniques. Thank you.